So hey everyone, based off of the title, you know what this video consists of. So I know it may seem kind of random compared to the other videos that I have posted already on my platform, but driving for Uber is what I do for income full time. That's how I pretty much provide for my family. And I decided to do a video on it because I get a lot of passengers, a lot. They have so many questions about what my experience is with Uber, how's the pay and everything goes. So I'm like, I might as well make a video. There seems to be a lot of people who are interested in knowing about Uber and my experience with it. So I'm going to go over, I have a list right here of pros and cons to driving with Uber. And I want to let you guys know that these pros and cons are strictly based off of my personal experience. So your experience with Uber may be different than mine. A pro to you, maybe a con to me. A con to me, maybe a pro to you. Each and every person will have their own individual different experience. I'm just going off of mine. And you may have the same experience as me in some terms or whatever the case may be. But I'm just going strictly off of my personal experience. I have been doing Uber passengers since July of last year. So this is 2025 right now. So I have been doing Uber passengers since July of 2025. The reason why I decided to pivot to doing Uber is it just allowed me more flexibility to spend time with my family, but that's neither here nor there. And I do also have experience with Uber Eats and DoorDash. So let me also note to you guys, what I'm going over today is pretty much Uber passenger. So that's when you pick up an individual person from one destination and you drop them off to another. So what I'm going over will not be, these pros and cons will not be for Uber Eats or like DoorDash when I get to the list, but I do have experience with those. So I guess I'll give you guys a quick breakdown of why I don't do the portion of Uber Eats before I get into the pros and cons. So inside the app, you have the option to do the shop and pay. That's pretty much when you go into a store, you shop for the customer, you cash the things out with your Uber card, and you drive the items to the individual customer, and it's complete. I don't do that. Also, it's Uber Eats, where you'll go pick up someone's food. It's pretty much like self-explanatory. Eats. You'll pick up their food from a restaurant and you'll drop it off to whatever the location is that is in the app. So I do not do Uber Eats and I do not do the shop and pay. I only strictly do the passenger. And all three of them are options inside the app. You can have all of them selected at one time, where you'll get shop and pay orders, you'll get the Uber Eats for like the food, and you'll get the passengers. You can have that option where they're just sending you all of these. It may be a good option for some people, but me personally, I don't do it. If you want to know why I don't do it, it's because my personal experience with it. I'll go over this, try to make it brief before I get into this. So I do not do the shop and pay because, and this is just strictly my personal experience. I'm not saying it would be bad for you. It could be a good thing for you. But for me, I will go into a certain store. I may not be familiar with the store. It could be completely time consuming for me. You have to kind of communicate with the customer. If you can't find items and everything else, it just takes too much time for me. That's just my personal opinion. Not saying it's not a good option, but that's just my personal opinion. The same thing with the food. So when you go into a restaurant, my experience has been that for some, not all, some restaurants I go in, the order is ready, I pick it up, I drop it off to the individual's house, and I'm done. But I've had experiences where I will go into a restaurant, the food will not be ready. It will not be ready. I'll be sitting there waiting. I've honestly waited like 20 to 30 minutes for some food before, and I'm not exaggerating. I'm not exaggerating at all. I've also had orders where I've had to cancel them because I'm like, no, what, this is taking entirely too long. And for me personally, I just feel like that's not worth it. Now, I do really enjoy and prefer the passengers option, and that's why I only have that selected in my preferences. Excuse me. So in my preferences within the app, you can select all of them or just whichever one you would like to do. So I only have passengers selected. Okay, so now that I've went over that, I'm gonna go ahead and get into the pros and cons. I did list them down so I don't be like all over the place and all, you know, just saying random stuff. So I'm gonna start with the pros to driving with Uber. I made bullet points and I'll just elaborate on each and every one of them. So flexible hours. So the hours is as flexible as it can ever be. It's your hours. You make it what you want. You start when you want, you end when you want. You start as many times as you want throughout the day. You end as many times throughout the day if you want. So if you have like smaller children like me, it will be a great option for you to do Uber passenger. Well, I'm just gonna say Uber, period, because they all kind of offer the same thing. But I do Uber passengers, so it'll be great to do Uber passengers because flexible. If my child gets sick in school, the school calls, say, hey, can you come get them? Yes, I can. I'm gonna get done with this ride that I'm done. I'm gonna hit the pause button. There's like a rest button on there. So you can rest right after you get done with that order and they won't keep sending you more and more rides. I'll go get my child flexible. This goes right along with flexible hours. You set your own schedule. Like I said, you start when you want, you finish when you want. It's just that simple. Like, it's just that simple. Okay, so they do offer, I put cash back on gas. So there are perks with inside the app when you reach certain statuses to get like perks with gas. So like if you have like Shell as the gas station you go to, you know, you get the fuel perks. So within Uber, once you reach certain statuses in there, they'll give you fuel perks that you can also link with your fuel rewards. So that's a pro that I feel. And with driving, of course, you want discounts on gas as much as possible because it's going to save you money. Okay, so this is something that is personally a pro to me, is they have the option where you could rent a car. You can rent a car through Uber. So if you don't have a vehicle at all, you can still drive for Uber. Even if you do have a vehicle, you can drive for Uber in their rental car. So there is a Hertz location. So I'm located in Northeast Ohio. So this will be like strictly for people who are in Northeast Ohio. But not limited to you. But there's a Hertz location in Parma, Ohio, where you can rent a car. Now, I know for a fact that you can also do this in other states because I have family members and friends who have done it in other states. So just don't think that, oh, if I'm not in Ohio, I can't rent a car. That's not true. But just do your research and figure out if it's offered in your personal state. But Northeast Ohio is offered. So renting a car, it's a pro to me for so many reasons, and it can be a pro and a con, but I'm gonna start off why it's a pro to me. Renting a car is a pro to me because I'm not putting so much wear and tear on my own personal car. Like all the maintenance that is needed for the car, Uber or Hertz, I don't know who specifically pays for it. I don't get that much into details, but it doesn't come out your pocket. When it comes time for oil changes, they take care of it. The rental place takes care of it. When it comes down to just things being repaired on the car, they take care of it. Now, if it's something like some damage that you caused, then you'll probably have to pay for it, most definitely if you use your insurance. So say if you get in a car accident or something then and you don't use their insurance, you'll have to go through your insurance. They also do offer the option to use their insurance, but it's $40 a day, which is kind of pricey to me. It's kind of steep to me if you ask me. So I personally just tell them, hey, I'm going to use my own personal insurance. If anything happens, I'll go through my insurance, which to you, you may be like, oh no, I would never do that. If you are a person that's like that, or you don't have insurance, you can still make money on this platform because they offer their insurance. It's just you have to pay $40 a day for their insurance. But also with this renting a car, it's a pro to me, because if you're somebody who is not mobile, you don't have a car, you're mobile now, you have a car, you don't have to only just use this for rides for Uber. You can use this for your personal use also. It is your rental car, you're renting this car. So, but it does require for you to do 30 rides a week. That's the minimum. Like, you have to do 30 rides a week in order to continue to rent their car. Which, I know you're probably like, 30 rides. 30 rides is easy. You can get 30 rides in a day. Trust me. You can get 30 rides in one day. So, you have this car for a week. 7 days. Also, with the rent a car. So, the pricing for it, at least this is in, like I said, Northeast Ohio apartment location, my experience. So there's different car options. There's compact, there's comfort, and then there's other ones too. But those are the only ones that I have experience with. Okay, so I'm just gonna give you guys what I know. So the compact cars for me have been like averaging for like $303 to $305 a week, $303, $305 weekly. That's how much it costs to rent the car. And I know some people are like, oh my God, that's a lot. Now for the comfort cars, which are more of a larger vehicle, more like a SUV or something like that, it'll be like $319, $320 a week. And I know a lot of people are like, that's a lot. That's a lot of money for a car weekly. Yes, it is a lot, but you can make a decent amount of money driving with Uber. I'm just going to be honest with you. If you get out there and you grind, and I'll get into that later, whatever the case may be, it could be still profitable for you. Still paying the $305 a week, still paying the $320 a week, and they have more expensive cars. But I've never done like Uber Black or anything like that. So, you can make the money still. Yes, it is a large expense that comes out, but you still can make it. Still can be profitable. Now, if you don't want to rent a car and you have your own personal vehicle, that's up to you to do, and you won't have to pay the $305 or the $320 or the rental fee. Of course, you won't have to pay that, or whatever the case may be. All that money is yours. So that $300 that I'm paying out for a rental car, because that's what I do, you won't pay that. That money will be in your pocket weekly. Okay, so I'm gonna move on. So instant payouts. If you are somebody who needs that money like that, you can do instant payouts. They allow you 5 instant payouts a week. So you can use all 5 in one day, and you can use all 5 throughout the week. So say if you got on a ride and you need, like, just say you need $50 real quick. You go do your rides. Once you get to $50, you pause the app. You might not even have to pause it, but I'm not sure. But I would suggest that you pause the app, cash out. Okay, I got my $50. I could take care of what I need to take care of. And I know a lot of people like, dang, you have to cash out multiple times a day. You never know somebody's situation or what they going through. They may need the money real quick, and you can cash it out as soon as you make it. So long as you have like your bank account linked to it. I heard somebody say something about an Uber card, but I don't have one of those. I always just link mine strictly to my bank account. So when I say it's instant, it goes straight to my account. As far as the card goes, I'm pretty sure it goes straight to the Uber card. So that's another thing. If you don't have a bank account, they do offer a Uber card. I don't have much experience with that. If you guys want more information on that, I do have a relationship with somebody who does have a Uber Black card or whatever you call it. I will ask them more information about it, and I will try to answer you guys questions. But if you have any questions, put it in the comments below. So like I said, instant payouts. Another pro to them is Quest Weekly. So a lot of people may not know what a quest is. So a quest is an incentive for Uber to give you more money. So a common quest that I will see for a week is, if you do 70 rides, we'll give you $100, or we'll give you $135. It's not always the same amount every week, but it's normally about $100 for like, and it's like 70 rides. But they also will have like different ones. So I'll actually show you guys in my phone real quick. So I have a quest, just so y'all can get like a visual aid of what I'm talking about. Give me one moment. Let's see. It's under your opportunities. So right here it says select a quest. I don't know if y'all can see that. I hope y'all can see that. So it'll say select a quest. Let me see if y'all can see that. Can y'all see that? I should have had my camera flipped up. I'm tripping. Y'all, I got an option to have the camera flipped up. I don't know why I didn't have the camera flipped up so I could actually see myself. I'm kind of, okay. Dang, y'all can't even see it. Oh, if I back it up. Can y'all? I don't know if y'all can see it. I don't know. Maybe this light is... Turn this light around. Okay. Hold on. Yeah, let me turn that light around real quick. Okay, now y'all can see it. Okay, so if you see right here, it says select a quest. So, and this is for actually like the weekend. This is a weekend quest. I didn't get to this yet, but this is an example of a weekend quest. So they have weekday quests and they have weekend quests. So as you can see, you do 60 trips, they're going to give you additional $60. You do 10 more, they'll add 45 more onto it. So you see, and these are like all the options. So you can choose which one best fits for you. So if you feel like you're not going to get out there much and you can only do 30 to 40 rides, select that one and get that extra money right there. Get that extra $25. So that's a quest right there. So another one, they give you a weekly quest. And I don't know if you initially get this or not, or you get this after a while, but this is the weekly quest. So right now, come on, focus. So this is like the weekly quest that I'm currently on. So I've completed 17 trips out of 60 trips to get an extra $75. So as y'all can see, and it's like, it'll tell you from Monday to Friday, 4 a.m. to 4 a.m. That's the time you got in order to complete these quests, okay? So that's the quest. I showed y'all that real quick. So, alright, so that's an example of the quest. So as you can see, you can make additional money outside of the money that you're making already with Uber. So that's not including the money that you get for your rides. That's not including none of that. That's just an additional incentive for being on their platform and getting the rides completed. So they also have, I guess I'll show you all this. They also have something called opportunities. So this is based off of like events that they may have in the city, or active like specific hours and specific areas. So I'll show y'all real quick. So let me turn this around real quick again. This light. Come on, focus. So if y'all look right here, it says Kansas City Royals versus Cleveland Guardians at the top. So you can save that. Hold on. And then it'll show you right here. It say estimated peak time. So they got times for you to give you an idea of when to go. And then you can kind of like sign up. That's, hold on. You hit the save, and then like when you see it like that, that means you pretty much signed up for that event. So when you go to that event, you'll get like extra money just for doing that. This one specifically tells you like an extra $5.50 per active hour based on the estimated time for acceptance to drop off. So it'll show you a specific area if you look It'll show you like, okay, if you in this specific area during the hours of 10 and 11 p.m., you'll get an extra $5.50. So they have those all throughout the week, and you could just choose which one you feel is best suited for you. Okay, so those are some things that they offer inside the app other than just the regular pay that you get. So that kind of helps, especially if you got that rental that you paying for. That will help. Okay, so that's the Quest. On top of of course, the money you get paid for your rides or your deliveries, if you're doing deliveries, you got Quest that you can gain money from. But not only do you got Quest, you got tips. Customers will tip you. You will get customers who tip you. The most I've ever gotten tipped is $20. Like $1 tips come through often, $3 tips, $5 tips, they come often, but sometimes I get $20 tip. I've had my sister does this also. She said she got an $80 tip before. So if you have passengers that you like conversate with, or you just provide good quality service to, you safely drive, you got maybe some, you know, decent music on, or quiet, or just, you know, whatever their preference or liking is, the people will tip. If they have a pleasant ride with you and they have the funds, people will tip. You most definitely will get some tips. Not everyone's going to tip, so don't expect it. Another pro is also options to pick your rides. So you have strictly the option to pick rides. So they'll come through on your screen and you have the option whether you want to accept it or not. You don't have to accept all rides. So on the screen, it'll pop up. It'll show you how much the pay is. It'll show you how far you have to go in order to pick the person up, and how far you have to go in order to drop the person off. So if you're like, that amount that they paying is not worth that destination or whatever that I have to complete, I don't want it, you don't have to accept it. If you feel like that's too far for me to go, you don't have to accept it. Like, I'll give you an example. I've had rides offered to me to go to Toledo, Ohio. Some people will be like, I'm not driving to Toledo. Some people like, yes, I will drive to Toledo for $100 or so. Not saying it'll always be $100, but they will offer you $100 or more to drive to Toledo. I've had it happen. It's just my personal experience. I've also had them offer less. It's strictly based off of like mileage and stuff, but don't quote me. So that's a pro. You don't have to accept it. It's not like, oh, we giving you a ride to Toledo, you have to take it. No, you don't. You can not accept them. Now, not accepting them does affect your rating. So you do get rated off of several different things, and I'll show you guys that later. I don't want to stop going through these, but I'll show you things later. Like, I'll scroll through the app and show you guys different things later. So you do have rates. You do get rated on different things. So if you don't accept those rides, your acceptance rate goes down. So the better your acceptance rate is, the more perks you get, or better perks you get, the lower your acceptance rate is. Yeah, I'll get into that later. Okay, so options to block passengers. I feel like this is a pro. I feel like I know not all rides will be pleasant. Not everyone that gets in your car will be a joy to have in your car. That's just the reality. I know you probably like, dang, y'all don't even got to be around each other that long. Or listen, not all passengers will be pleasant, you know. So if you do have a passenger that is not pleasant, I just suggest that you remain professional, complete the ride. But when they get out that car, you can give them a 1-star and it will block them. You won't have to pick that passenger up ever again. They request won't come to you. So I think that's a good option. So you probably like, what if I get this passenger again? No, don't worry about getting that passenger again. They can block you, but them passengers can block you too. Okay. Safety options. So the app has different safety options within it. So they have an option to where you can record, audio record, and they have an option where you can video record. They also have an option where you could just like request for help, or like pretty much like really quick links, like if you're having any different issues and stuff like that within the app, or whatever the case may be. I don't want to make this video too like long and dragged out, so I'll briefly later on go through the app and let you guys see like this is the safety options. Okay, so then they got another pro is surge pricing or peak hours and time. So you'll open that app up sometimes and the city will be lit up. It will be lit up, red, orange. Yes, it will be lit up, and it'll have in different areas plus $3.50, plus $15, plus $7. Depending on where you are, you can gain that money if you're in those areas that are surging at that time. If you go outside and you turn on that app and they say plus $5 in your area, they're going to give you an additional $5 towards that ride. I don't want to say what surges. I think when it's surging is when there's a lot of requests for rides coming through, but it's not a lot of drivers out there, and that's their way of enticing you to get out there. That's just my opinion. I don't know, but they do have peak hours, which peak hours is kind of like when they have a lot of rides, a lot of requests coming in. So they got peak hours and they got surges. So you want to be out there doing those peak hours and those surges, because it's going to make your income, your wage amount go up, you know, compared to if you're not out there and it's not surging. You're just going to get what the ride would normally be. But they make a difference. Surging and peak hours make a difference. Okay, so the last pro that I have listed is you can work up to 12 hours daily. If you got it in you, go ahead and get your money, honey. I know like with most jobs, or I won't even say most jobs, but some jobs you don't have the option to work a 12-hour shift on a daily basis if you need that money. You know, if you only work an 8-hour shift and there's no overtime being offered or anything or provided at a 9-to-5 job that you work at, or whatever the case may be, that's just what you get. With Uber, you can work up to 12 hours. So if you need some money and you have the energy to do it and you in grind mode, get your money. And you can do that 7 days a week, 12 hours if you want to. Of course, you have to have a certain amount of time in between the 12 hours, the case may be, but you can get your $12 in and really get you some money. So now I'm about to go ahead and get into the cons. And like I said, these cons may not be cons to you. Your experience may be different than mine. Everyone has their own experiences. So inconsistent pay or low pay. There are times where it gets slow. I would be lying to you if I said it's booming every single time I go out there. I'm getting rides, they high paying. No, that is not always the case. There are sometimes, it's rare, but there are some times where I don't have rides coming in constantly. And I'll sit there and I'll have to wait for a ride, or they're not high paying rides coming in, or it's not peaking, or it's not surging, or people are not tipping. There are days that I'm like, whoo, I worked hard for this money. I had a goal set and it took me a little longer than what I would have liked to get this money because it was slow, or they just wasn't offering high paying rides. So the pay is inconsistent. It's not consistent all the time. Will you be able to go out and make some money? Yes. Will you be able to go out and make the amount of money that you made yesterday within the same amount of time? It's not guaranteed. Another con is traffic. If you're somebody who does not have patience, you got road rage and everything else, this may not be best for you, because sometimes you are going. Alright, y'all. So I had to stop for a moment because okay, I had to stop for a moment. The camera had, hold on. Okay, so the camera had actually stopped because I did not have any more space on the camera. So yeah, I had to start it over. I had to go delete some old footage and start over. Y'all, I'm new to this. I'm not true to this right now. One day I will be. Hopefully you guys see the progress that I'm making or will make. So I was saying traffic. Okay, so if you're somebody who don't like being in traffic and you have road rage issues, this is probably not the best thing for you. Or if you are somebody who have those issues, it will really pretty much calm that down, because you'll finally realize, like, hey, this is my way of making money. These my means. I might as well make this a most enjoyable, you know, ride as possible, or most, you know, calm ride as possible as I can. I don't need to make it, you know, bad if I don't have to. So just calm down, work through it. This is a part of the job. So yes, traffic. If you drive, you know about traffic. You know the things that come with traffic. You get traffic jams, you get car crashes, like accidents that hold you up. You just get so many different things dealing with traffic. I feel like that's just self-explanatory. Environmental issues. It'll rain, it'll snow, it'll hail. You know, all these things are things you have to consider. So if you don't like driving in the rain, if you don't like driving in the snow, if your car is not equipped for those environmental issues, you know what I'm saying, you may want to go get some new tires, or, you know, rent a car during the winter time if you don't have a car that's suitable to get through the winter. Because we have, like, Northeast Ohio, we have some bad winters. So you want to make sure that your car is reliable enough to get through those winter times, because the passenger needs to get to where they're going. They're paying for this ride. They need for you to be able to deliver. So yeah, so environmental issues, always keep that in mind, you know, and just always try to be prepared as much as possible when it comes to that. Those are things you can't control. If you don't like driving in the rain, or if you don't like driving on the freeway, it ain't for you. It's not for you. I'm just gonna be honest. It says, so potential driver and rider safety concerns. You're a stranger to the passenger. The passenger is a stranger to you 9 times out of 10. You may have some passengers that you know or you are familiar with, but most of the time you're going to have a stranger in your car. With strangers, you never know what comes with strangers. It's really just is what it is. I'm just happy and thankful that I have not had any bad issues or horrible issues with customers or riders in my car that actually got inside the car. When it comes to dealing with these passengers, just use your intuition. It's just really best to use your intuition. If you feel like something's off, cancel the ride. You don't have to take the person. You really don't. Cancel the ride, you know, lock the doors, pull off if something don't seem right to you. Only if it don't seem right. Don't just be doing that to passengers and everything else, but just use your intuition. I did have an experience I'm gonna share with you guys where the app pretty much had told me, so when you're in the app, it'll tell you, it'll have like a marker. It'll navigate you to a marker, and it'll tell you you have reached your destination, and then the time clock will start going for you to wait for the passenger, or for them to notify you, notify the passenger that you're there. I had a experience where the marker told me to stop at a specific place. It didn't look like it was a building, a residential area, or nothing. It just was like field and land around it and stuff or whatever. So I'm like, this can't be it. So I'm looking around for the address. As I'm looking around for the address to go, you know, pull up for the passenger, because sometimes it's technology. It can be off. It's not always going to be perfect. As I'm looking around to go to figure out where I need to go to meet the passenger, excuse me, I look in my rearview mirror and I see a woman who looks as if she could be the passenger. So I begin to back up. As I'm beginning to back up, this lady is starting to like run. When I say run, she's starting to run towards the car. And she's like, don't mother effing back up now. You should have been turned around. When I tell y'all, I locked that door. Or what I won't even say lock the door. When I tell y'all, I put the car from reverse to drive and I skirted off. Why do you think that you about to get in my car and you run into the car aggressively saying, don't mother effing back up now? I'm pregnant. That's not even an excuse, but I'm pregnant. I'm vulnerable. I don't want no confrontation. Why would you ever think that you're going to get in a vehicle with me and you're yelling, screaming, and cussing? That's a moment where it's like, use your intuition. You know what I'm saying? That's not somebody I would have deemed for like letting my car would, advise y'all to let in your car. So if you got a situation or experience like that, that was just me using my intuition. No, I'm pulling off. I canceled the ride. They have multiple reasons to why you can cancel the ride. I chose the one that was best fit for that situation, and I moved on to the next ride. Uber sent me another ride, and I went and got another passenger, and I went on about my day. But there's no way I'm letting you in this vehicle. Okay, so potential safety risk. I'm not trying to scare nobody, whatever the case may be. Like I said, I've had hundreds of passengers. That was just one experience, but I used my intuition and I left. And just keep in mind that these passengers sometimes are weary of you just as much as you're weary of them. They hear about things that happen and they don't know you. You're a stranger to them as much as you're a stranger to as much as they're a stranger to you. So just always keep that in mind. Okay. Gas costs. Gas costs. We all know the gas is up there. So I would just this is a con to me, because gas costs is a major expense. It really is, but it is also a tax write-off. So if you know how to do taxes or know somebody that does taxes, or it's a tax write-off. So at the moment, it's like, gas is high. It's really like, hitting my pockets. But you could just use different perks, like fuel perks. And like I said, the app also offers incentives to get, discounts on gas. So, and that may not be a con to somebody. Some people may be like, that's just an expense. You making money, business has an expense. When you're running a business, if you're somebody who is a business owner, then you'll kind of understand that business has expenses. If you're in this business, you have a gas cost expense. So rental costs. I was telling you guys earlier about how rentals could be a pro if you don't have a car. But the rental costs can be up there. Like when I tell people like, oh, I rent this car for $305 a week, they're like, ooh. Or I rent this car for $320 a week, they like, ugh, that's a lot. It is a lot, but if this is your means to making money and you can make more money than what you're losing, it's a pro. But if you're not getting out there and you're not grinding and you're not making the money and then you still have to pay that rental cost, it could be a con for you. So rental cost is kind of high. Problematic riders, this kind of go with potential like safety concerns and everything goes. But the app does kind of help you work through those if you do encounter those. I've just been looking not to. So problematic riders. I've had problematic riders before. They didn't cause like a physical threat or harm to me, but they were still problematic. You'll get, I'm just gonna be honest with you, you'll get some passengers that seem to be looking for a problem to have with you, and you're like, why? I don't know. Listen, I'm not into psychology and trying to figure out why people do what they do. You will get problematic riders. Just all I can say is just remain professional. just keep it in your mind that once they get out that ride, you can give them 1 star and they can be blocked. That's how I look at it. Like, let's get through this ride. Let me be as calm as possible. Let me be as respectful as possible. I don't have to ever see this person again, or this person won't ever get in my car again, because they're getting a 1 star once they get out anyways. So problematic riders is something that you may encounter or deal with. Not everybody are positive, you know, or positive light. Vehicle expenses. So if it's your personal vehicle, you're going to have way more vehicle expenses than if you have a rental, because the rental, they're going to pay for your oil changes. They're going to pay for the maintenance repairs. If it's your personal vehicle and you driving, you putting wear and tear on your car. You just are. You're going to need more frequent oil changes because you're driving so much daily. You may have to repair like brakes and rotors or whatever. I don't know much about cars, but you're going to have to repair your car, do more maintenance on your car than what you would if you were not driving for Uber. I'm just going to be honest with you. You're going to have vehicle expenses, but I do believe that those vehicle expenses are tax write-offs. Don't quote me, because I'm not a tax preparer and a professional, but I do believe that those are tax write-offs. So do your research. If you are somebody and you like, look, I'm okay with paying them expenses, this is part of the business. When it comes to tax time, I'm going to keep my receipts, keep all my statements and stuff, and I'm going to write this stuff off on my taxes, and it's going to be okay. The market competition. So it does seem like a lot of people are getting out here and getting with Uber. So you may have a lot of competition that you have out there, but the rides will still come in. You also have like Lyft riders that are out there that are getting rides and everything goes. So there is competition out there, but there's competition in every venture and avenue, if you ask me. Like, you really won't not have competition in things you do. Passenger complaints. This is something that I have experienced personally. Passenger complaints, they will rate you low sometimes, so you can get rated 1 star, 5 stars to 1 star. You can get rated. They can also select options to why they rated you low. I've had a passenger lie on me before and put in a complaint that I cussed at them or something like that. I've never cussed. My eyes is burning. I'm probably like, she lying. Look at her. She can't even look straight. But I'm telling the truth. I've never cussed at a passenger, okay? I've never had an experience where I felt like I had to cuss at a passenger. I haven't. So why did they put that? Only God knows, but I've never cussed at a passenger. So passengers can put in complaints about you. If a passenger put in a complaint about you, they say you were cussing at them, you were doing unsafe driving, you were speeding, and everything goes, Uber will notify you that, hey, this customer reported that you did such and such, and they will give you the option to defend yourself, to, you know, state what you feel like happened. When the customer has said I cussed at them, I honestly didn't even know what to say back, because I couldn't think of what passenger would even say that, because I didn't do it. So, but I just responded, you know, I have not ever had a situation where I cussed at a passenger, or a passenger has cussed at me. I'm not really aware or sure where this complaint came from, but I try my best to be respectful and professional at all times with all passengers. That just was my response. I submitted it to Uber. They said they investigated it. They said everything was cool. I'm pretty sure if you get too many complaints, they won't be cool with it, because they probably like, okay, this is a pattern. But if it's not a pattern and stuff, they do also have an app where they say, we do understand that some people, you know, may falsify things or, you know, lie about things. So and we take everything in consideration, and they do investigate. But the passenger also has the option to record you. They have the option. Uber actually lets you know, hey, this customer may be audio recording. Hey, this customer may be video recording. Hey, this customer may have like the location being tracked, or whatever the case may be. So they do notify you whichever passengers will get in your car, and so like a gnat or a fly, whatever passengers will get in your car and have that option on. Uber does notify you. Now, if the passenger does not have it on prior to the ride and they put it on during the ride, I don't know. But if you're being professional and you're not doing nothing or saying nothing crazy, you don't got nothing to worry about. No passenger recording you. You also have the option to record also for your protection also. Unclean passengers. Not everybody's hygiene is up to par. Not everybody's going to be up to your standard. I've had passengers that have gotten in my car and not smelled so pleasant. I've had passengers get in my car and leave trash. Yeah, so with the trash thing, I try to like look back, like in the back seat, or look around before they get out and say, hey, you know, you left something, grab your stuff, or whatever the case may be, please. Them smelling bad, I don't really know what you can do besides have like air fresheners in your car. Maybe you can have a face mask on. And look at the flying around. You know, I'm talking about smelling bad. You can maybe get a face mask, have air fresheners in your car. I'm not really sure, or whatever the case may be, but just trying to get through the ride, you know. And yeah, so those are a list of pros and cons of driving for Uber. I'm gonna go through the app and just maybe show you guys a few things real quick. Let me get closer. This is just for like people who really just want to see, like, and like I said, you can log into this app and look at these things for yourself. But they have like the refer a friend. Of course, that's like you get money if you refer someone. They have opportunities, which I kind of went over opportunities already. That's like the quest and the extra pay. We pretty much, it's not even showing. We pretty much went over that one already. Uber Pro right here, the next one. I don't know if it's really showing you. So Uber Pro right here. So it has like different ranking levels, and with the different, I don't know, this is kind of bad. With the different ranking levels, you get like different incentives. So like you guys can see right here, this is how like they rate me. So you start with like I think a 5.00 right here. But of course, I've had people make complaints about me that have hit my star ratings. But you can see right here how many good 5 stars I get compared to 1 stars. And I do believe that these fall off. And then look, you see how it say recent feedback? Someone said that I was not polite. So that affects you. And then they also have it for like deliveries, but I ain't really doing no deliveries. But that's the route. Well, deliveries is like 100% satisfaction. I don't know if y'all can see that. Yeah, but anyways, so that's my like star rating. And then my acceptance rate. Oh Lord, my acceptance rate is low, y'all. So don't judge me. You don't want to drop past like 85. The better all this stuff is, the better paying rides they'll send you to. I'm trying to make it to where y'all can see it. I don't know why it won't let y'all see it. I don't know what's going on. But anyways, let me move on. So that's your acceptance rate. You don't want it to drop past a certain amount. Cancellation, I don't even know if y'all can see this. I feel like this video dragged out long enough. Come on, let's see. Okay, there we go. So then you got cancellation or whatever. That's how many rides you cancel. how often you cancel rides. Some rides you just have to cancel, some you don't, but you want to keep that low than 4%. So right now that I'm showing y'all this, my stuff is not that good as far as my acceptance rate and my cancellation rate, but look, it is what it is. And then right here it show you different rewards that you'll get. And like I said, you could just log on to this app and scroll through yourself and get a feel for it. So I'm just gonna just scroll through just to show you guys, you know, just a few things that is offered inside the app. Like 100% tuition coverage for ASU. Like they have different things, cash back on like EV chargers and everything else. So they got different perks and everything else, and you can do your own little research and stuff. Then up under Uber Pro, if I could show y'all, I don't know. Right, okay, there we go. Up under Uber Pro, it's like wallet. Hold on. So on wallet, let me just show y'all. They'll show you on wallet that you can get like instant payout. I don't know if y'all can see that or not. Okay, so they just got the option for like instant payout and everything goes. As y'all can see, my balance ain't that much right now, but you got instant payout and everything goes. Cash out. Account. This is just different things. This stuff that y'all could just go through. Y'all, I did not mean to do that. Hold on. That's just different things that y'all can go through yourselves once y'all get an account or whatever the case may be, and just navigate through that. We're not gonna get too much in there, but it has like Work Hub. Work Hub is actually where I was showing y'all, like, hold on, where's preferences? It's an option in here for preferences where I was telling y'all could select it, but y'all can navigate through the app and stuff yourselves. But yeah, that's just a quick little overview of it, of the app. And just let me back up. There's just some pros and cons. So I just wanted to show y'all something real quick in the app, just give y'all a quick little glimpse of what's in the app, what it offers, and everything else. I'm not gonna show y'all, like, I guess I'll show y'all 1 week. No, I'm not gonna put y'all in my business. I'm not gonna put y'all in my business, but just know that it could be lucrative. It could be lucrative if you get out there and you put in the grind. You can get some money, especially if you go out there 7 days a week. You're gonna be like, okay, it was worth it, most definitely. So please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. If you have any questions that I did not cover, please comment. Please put them in the comment section. I will try my best to answer them. If you guys like content like this, please just let me know also in the comment area, and I'll make more content like this on maybe my experience with DoorDash, or go more in depth of my experience with Uber Eats. So until next time.